Etsy is a global marketplace for vintage and handmade goods. We've got 1.1 million sellers globally and growing, and we've got about 25 million unique products on the site at the moment. I'm responsible for all buyer and seller acquisition outside of the US, so quite a broad remit, and mobile is one of the things we're definitely taking very seriously. Been there 15 months. Previous to that, I was 3 years at ASOS, so it's quite entertaining watching some of those ASOS slides going, I know that. So previous to that, 3 years at ASOS, doing pretty much what I'm doing now, so that's my background. So quick starter, this is going to be the obvious part of the night. So why is mobile important for Etsy at the moment? So I'm going to run over some numbers pretty quickly. So at the moment, we've sort of made sales last year to 200 different countries across the planet. So every country that's possible we've pretty much shipped to. 60 million monthly unique visitors, quite a lot there. Our turnover last year was 1.3 billion in gross merchant sales, which is the way we record our sales, so quite a big number there. And of all the visits we get to the site, 50% of that traffic is either going through mobile or the apps we've got. So just thinking about those numbers, 60 million unique users per month, we're getting a huge volume of that through traffic, so we take mobile very, very seriously. And just to reinforce some of the points on why mobile is important for you guys, some of these have been said before, I think. But at the moment, so last year, Comscore, they said 71% of people, which is about 35 million people, have a smartphone. That was last year's data. I imagine over Christmas those numbers have gone up again. So we're talking, a huge chunk of people have got smartphones, and 47% of those people browse. So when I say browse, I'm talking here, they sort of use it for shopping in some way, shape, or form. So they may not actually shop from it, but they're using it for browse. So that's, half of 35 million people, sort of 17, 18 million people who are using their phones in a sort of shopping manner. So really important to remember. And last year, according to Capgemini, £3 billion of mobile sales last year in the UK. So that's a big number. That doubled from the previous year, and they expect that to keep growing and growing quickly. So I think when we mentioned at the start, Google's been, as long as I've known Google, they've been going on about mobile, mobile, mobile. I think mobile has actually finally arrived, so we can stop getting flogged by Google for having a mobile strategy. Hurrah. No disrespect, Google. I love you. Cool. So I've got a mobile website. What am I going to do now? Of course I know what I'm going to do. I'm off on holiday. Job done. I can just go out the office. Of course, it's a channel. It's going to work. Don't have to do anything with it. So I'm going to leave. So of course, I'm being sarcastic. Of course, you're not going to do that. But unfortunately, a lot of people build a website, mobile website, put a lot of time and effort into it, and they don't have a mobile strategy to back it up. So there's no mobile marketing strategy behind it whatsoever. So just like if you launched a new feature on your site, you'd probably look at how you'd market it, how you'd PR it, how you'd get it found. Equally, your mobile site, you should be spending a lot of time and effort, given how much traffic's going to be going through it, to really come up with a bespoke strategy for it, and think mobile, 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 not kind of, desktop, more bolt some mobile onto it. So a bit facetious there, but please don't do that. Hopefully none of you have. So I'm going to go over 4 really simple ways that you can actually help get your mobile your mobile website found predominantly on search engines, if we're looking at all these results. So paid search campaigns, Google product listing ads, local, and good old-fashioned, but still in the mix there, SEO. So first point I'm going to make is, which you probably all seen, mobile is extremely cluttered. So on your desktop, when you look at it, you'll have often a map in the center, and you'll have ads on either side, and you might have images, and you might have Google Shopping, all the different channels mix up. But it kind of works quite well. You've got a bit of space to work with. You can kind of take a lot in, and your screen size is a lot bigger. On mobile, here's a reasonably common search for us at Etsy, handmade shoes. You can see there's 2 ads at the top. There's 1 organic result, and there's a map creeping in. And that's just the first fold before I've even scrolled down the phone. So you can see already that you're dealing with a very, very cluttered space. So if you're not going to be in that top sort of half of the page, or you're not going to be found in that, you're going to really struggle to pick up any traction, because people are inherently lazy. They don't like scrolling as much as you'd think, because literally they do what we saw before. My fat finger has just hit the wrong button, and I'm in a website I didn't want to go to. So people usually want to scan, apart from the John Lewis example before, where he seemed to not be able to read, perhaps, but that's fine. But they will generally try and click as the most relevant result by skimming the titles they're reading, and click through to that site. People generally still don't know, in particular on mobile, the difference between an ad, an organic result, a sort of sponsored product listing ad. They generally know maps, obviously, but people don't know the difference. So coming up with a paid search campaign is extremely important. And again, it's real estate. So the top ad, they've been quite smart here. They've actually got two, see the little links in blue saying shop online, bespoke. They're actually individual links which can actually take you through to sort of bespoke parts of their site. So you're not going to land on the homepage. You're going to land on shop online bespoke. I don't know what you actually land on there. I can't remember what I clicked on, but they're trying to take you deeper into the site. They're not going to plonk you on the landing page, on the homepage, and just make you find your way around. They're going to try and take you into, I'd imagine with example, bespoke handmade shoes. So there's ways of also clogging real estate with paid ads. So you can actually get quite a few of those, what they're called site links, on your actual generic ads. They're very common on desktop, but generally no one does it on mobile. So people are missing a trick. It's a very easy way to monopolize more space and start eating up the competition's space they can appear on. So quickly onto product listing ads. Who's used Google Shopping before? Is anyone familiar with that? Used it? Who doesn't know what it is? A few people still. I'd probably get up to speed with it quite quick. It's a channel, used to be free, used to upload your shop catalog onto Google Shopping. It was free. Google just had its normal sort of algorithm running. It was great for filtering by price, for product, for brand, etc. What they did is they realized that they could monetize it, obviously. It was always probably their intention. Makes a lot of sense. So what we've got now is an auction sort of system similar to paid search, where you can bid to try and sort of get found on the sort of standard Google search result page. So what I've done here at the top of mobile, we've got two ads from Zalando, which is a German company, very aggressive in their marketing strategy. And Google product listing ads now, no matter what, if there's a relevant result that can be surfaced by Google for a search query, that will go to the very top of the page. No argument at all. So these are becoming very, very important, and it's Google's fastest growing sort of channel at the moment in terms of their revenue stream. So they're spending a lot of time and effort in it. They're making the AdWords interfaces, which you run it out of, much more intuitive, much easier to use, and it's a very big and growing channel, and it does take prominence on Google. So what they also do is you can actually slide that as well. So they're actually making it slidable. You can have 5, 6, 7, 8 different products on it. You can see here Zalando have already off the bat done something quite smart. They've got the top two results on the page. Obviously they're paying for it, but they don't mind. It's image led, so people love images. They click on an image, so this is a very attractive proposition for a customer to click on. So if you don't know about these, or you haven't got a strategy around how these work, or you're not sure if you've got an agency who are running your product listing ad campaigns, I'd have a word with them and get a mobile specific strategy. A lot of people don't even have these turned on mobile. They don't even know it's an option, so it's something to put a lot of effort into behind. Just quickly, I was going to mention a few other things. Obviously, the paid ad below it. So the first 3 ads in this, the first 3 results actually paid. The call button looks easy, looks quite, looks like a no-brainer, but a lot of people don't do that again. If you've got a phone number, try and, obviously not everyone's going to find it as we saw before, but do try and include it. Myself, when I'm searching online now, if it's got a phone number, I don't care what it is I'm looking for, I'll just ring it. It's so much easier than I've got fat fingers. So really, it's so much easier. So get the phone number on there. And again, they've been really smart. River Island, they've got get directions. They know where I am. They're trying to tell you the nearest shop. I don't know where the nearest shop is necessarily, so they're trying to help you out. So this is all about using your smartphone for what it's good at. It's a phone, believe it or not. You can still call on it. And it's also got maps built into it. So again, you use all these features which Google and that give you to get users to your site or to your physical shop. Localize yourself. So sounds obvious. Again, it's one of these things which people do tend to forget to do or don't have someone that owns it. So I've worked with a couple of people in the past. They did do this 3 or 4 years ago, localize their shop. Google Locals got a lot cleverer, a lot smarter. Again, these are some results. I did the obvious one. I was looking for a hairdresser. So I haven't got enough here, but again, so this is what smartphones are doing nowadays. It's all in the local results. I can call hob salons. I can get directions to hob salons if I've booked or I want to know where it is and just turn up. I can go to their website and find out price. I can find out all the information. So real estate-wise, local is all over it. Like you can see how big a chunk of space this is taking before I even scroll down on my phone. So Local is very easy. You just contact Google, say, I've got this business, I'd like to register it local. They either send you something out in the post, which you return back to them, or they ring you up. Simple. If you've got a lot of shops, there's an easy way of doing it via automated file. You can upload a file to Google, they'll verify it, and you're away laughing. But what I would recommend is having someone, if you've got a lot of shops or even one shop, someone running this constantly and keeping up with what Google are doing with local, because they're integrating this into more and more features. And the likes of, you probably noticed a few years ago, Google Plus came out, which is Google's social media platform. They got rid of the old local listings and they're now part of Google Plus. So I imagine Maps is going to become more and more integrated into Google Plus as well. So please take that seriously. And while I mentioned clutter, yeah, it's very cluttered. Please don't forget good old-fashioned SEO. So it's not sexy, people won't misunderstand it, but it's still one of the most effective ways of driving traffic to a website. SEO and email are relatively cheap or free in some of the cases, and still do a very good job. So this is a slightly unique search query, handmade wood jewellery, something we sell on site. Bang, top of the mobile site, that's what I've searched for, that's the result I'm going to probably click on because I'm lazy. There's Google Images again cluttering us up, but I'm not going to really get down to the next organic result because at the top of the page I've already got a listing which I'm interested in. If I'm not interested, I'll click back out, sure, but again, so SEO, basically same strategy you'd have with a desktop site with mobile site. So if your site's not responsive, or you've got an m.dot or a .com/mobile, please register it with Webmaster Tools, have an XML sitemap, make sure Google's crawling it, look at all the usual things you look at a desktop. Can't stress enough how many people don't do that and they get themselves in absolute hot water with it. Also, don't be too smart. Some people try and divert all kinds of traffic from mobile, that looks like it's from mobile, through to a mobile site from a desktop site. That's the right thing to do, but I've seen sites who have actually diverted Google's crawler through to the wrong site and got it in a loop and basically got themselves penalized. So please be a little bit careful when you're trying to automate traffic. You can get yourself in a little bit of trouble. So there's some pretty quick wins. I've rushed through them. I'm around afterwards if you want to talk through them. But pretty much, that sounds again, here's my sarcastic New Zealand side coming up. Launch your site, select campaigns, simple. Correct? Sadly not. So as we know, mobile conversion isn't as good as tablet, and it's certainly not as good as desktop. There's a number of reasons for that. Oh, I've jumped the slide. I've spoiled the surprise. That is disappointing. There's some nice zebras. So obviously we've seen before, people can't use sites, mobile sites as well as they probably would like to. That's obviously changing, and if you look in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of effort to make them much more usable. Fat fingers, I often notice people on the train. When I was at ASOS, I could still see people in the morning on ASOS just looking at the website, just browsing. They're just looking. They're not going to buy on the site, but it's a really good touch point in the morning. I'm bored, I've got half an hour on a train, flick, 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 bookmark a few, go back later, buy them off another device. So it's a really important device to remember. It is fiddly, and often one of the reasons I think people don't buy, and I know I'm like this, I don't like using my smartphone putting sensitive information in public if I'm on a train. I'm not going to buy, but it's kind of one of the reasons why I think conversion rate is a bit lower. So the zebras, I've spoiled it already, but we got there. So don't think of as mobile as the same way as you look at every other website. Kind of think a bit differently here. Try and come up with a different approach of how you'd track or sort of monitor the success of your mobile site. So here's some things which, they're not easy necessarily, but things to probably think about in the near future. So attribution. What part is your mobile site playing in your customer lifecycle? Is it the influencer? Is it the thing that's getting them to your site in the first place? And then they're converting by a tablet or desktop? Is it the other way around? Are they coming from email and then going to mobile? Because a lot of email now comes to your mobile. You're on a train again, click. Very important step to open email. You're still browsing, you probably might not shop, but it's a really important stage to get them into the conversion funnel. Or is it just a general, what path does it play? And if you were to take it out and model that, how different would your traffic be without a mobile website? So what kind of attribution should you be giving your website? Because often, I'll be honest, they're very much undervalued, because if you look at it on a traditional last click basis, they don't look as good as a desktop or a tablet, but they do play an important part. Brand awareness, so simple thing, go to Google Trends, look up your brand traffic, see how much of it is coming through on mobile, and is that growing? So is your mobile site helping you grow brand awareness? Are people finding your mobile site more and more and more, and is that helping you grow as a brand? Quite a simple thing to do. You can just track that, do it monthly, weekly, whatever you need to do. Customer engagement, so are people not converting on your mobile, but are they signing up to email? Are they joining Facebook? Are they using, like joining YouTube, Twitter, etc.? Are they doing other things on your site? They're not buying, but they're becoming engaged with your brand, which is obviously very important as well. You can use those other channels to then drive sales. So is it a key part of driving people through to your other parts of your business? Lead generation, again, if I'm back at Hobbs Salon and I dial, but I don't that day decide to get a haircut, I haven't got much hair, probably don't need to, they could then use that as lead gen. They could ring me back, text me, get it, what information they want. So they can use it as a really smart way of generating potential lead gen. So that's just one way. Again, email sign-ups. If you have to download something off a website, again, you're getting contact information, email addresses, etc. So, and then intent. So if your mobile site traffic is going up like, I'll do it the right way, that's great. And if they're not buying, it's not necessarily disaster. It's showing that people are intent on using your brand and growing with your brand. If your traffic was going like that, you've got a problem. But if it is growing, but the conversion rate's not keeping up, I'd sort of use that as an intent. People are buying generally, and your mobile site is obviously playing a very important part of that. So that's quick whirlwind in marketing. If you want to ask me questions afterwards, I'll be around, or just ping me on Twitter. That's my Twitter handle if you want to go from there. Cool.